Hey guys, so I picked up the Astra specifically for Moonlight, Apollo, Artemis streaming, and I'm kind of hit with stuttering issues. I've seen some other videos. There's another Reddit post where, a stutter-free kind of setup, and I've seen a few users kind of complain of the same thing with not being able to get a consistent, clean stream. And a couple things I noticed, and what's helping me, and maybe will help somebody, is this camera setup kind of sucks, so bear with me. The Astra's refresh rates. So you have your choices: 60, 90, 120, 144, 165. Cool, fair enough. But when you choose one, pretty much any of them, if you have it, I mean, first off, anything but Diablo mode, it is not consistent in any way. So, I mean, we could even use, I'll show you with balance first. So 60 hertz will bounce around. We're not at a set locked 60, 60.25. So this happens with every refresh rate. And I've noticed, if you're, I personally set a frame rate cap with RTSS. It's not, let me think of how to put it, the refresh rate of the screen tied with, just going into, picking my refresh rate here. If I pick 60 and my screen is not refreshing at 60, I'm going to get that stutter, because at a certain point, we're not going to line up. And it's pretty, so going through the refresh rates, you can see it. Oh, this is a little, I forget what it's even called, a little free app on the Play Store. It's just I wanted to, what is the damn screen refreshing at? Because UFO tests, the refresh rate tests were the first thing that tipped me off. It's not right, but the good thing is, if we do use, actually, let me pop over here quick. I know I'm all over the place, but 120 is where I want to be at. And if I use anything but Diablo mode, again, we're at 118.5. That's not going to sync up right. I'm going to end up with stutters, 117 even. The good thing about all of these is Diablo mode will pin it and keep it consistent. So with Diablo mode, on any refresh rate we pick, it's gonna, I only see it bounce, what, 1/100 of a hertz, and it's consistent, but it's not going to line up perfectly with, picking a basic refresh out of Moonlight. So we'll stay at 6.27 for 60 hertz. Again, 120 ends up at, what was it, 120.54, and it'll stay. Same for 90, 144, and 165. It's just not, for me, and I mean, it makes sense, right? If we're running pinned at 166.05, if I choose 165 and Moonlight or Apollo, it's just, I'm going to get stutters. So real quick, what seems to work for me, 120 is kind of the sweet spot for me, where I know my games, I can cap them there and they can run there. So we're making sure we have 120. This app also has a little overlay. I had to pay $1.50 for to be able to keep the refresh rate live. So while I'm in Apollo and streaming. So I'm just gonna use native res. So I created a custom at that 120.54, which, if you don't know, you can scroll down, and it's Apollo only, I believe. I don't think you can do this in Moonlight, but I can set the 120.54. I could choose the custom here. Again, we're gonna do native, and I'm going to quit the session. Start it up again. This damn pop-up, every screen you go through in Diablo mode, it pops back up on you. So I'm gonna do just a couple things to line everything up. So my screen refresh rate, I'm gonna try to look over the camera here to be a little quicker. I do have the setting in Apollo to double the virtual monitor's refresh rate. It's supposed to help with stuttering. I just kind of use it. It's been fine. So it is doubling the 120.54. So I'm good there. I'm just going to double check that. I'm going to RTSS. I'm going to cap as well. You can see it's 120.54. And we can start a game. And I can see the stream is at the rate. And when in game, checking the little performance stats, I make sure that is also around, the stream is being rendered at, or at least sent at the 120.54 rather than, again, something like 120, because then something's not lining up in the chain here. And this, for some reason, I've been messing with this tablet, trying to get a smooth stream, getting to this point. With 60 hertz, it settles on that 60.27. I cannot, even setting a custom refresh rate in Apollo, the streaming stats, it seems like I could see here it's trying to stay around the 120.54 that I set. 60, no matter what I try, it stays around 60. Like the stream will not send at the 60.27, so I've just not been able to get 60 to work smoothly. I've tried everything. So just starting up Cyberpunk here.
Hey everyone, welcome to Info Flash. Say, did y'all lose power yesterday too? Yeah, when the lights went out there, I was cooking dinner.
So I usually pop into the menu just to make sure. See, I can tell here that Moonlight or Apollo is sending the stream at the custom FPS I chose. For some reason, that overlay goes away sometimes. I want the overlay on just to show this. Start service. I can see the screen is refreshing at that rate. I can see my stream is being sent at the refresh rate, the odd refresh rate that the Astra is showing. And I have a cap in RTSS, and this is the only way. Sorry, I got my ceiling fan there. I've sat and just, especially using the default 120, 60, not using the refresh rate that the display is actually refreshing at, just sitting, and I know maybe somebody wouldn't notice at all, but standing on top of a building or doing a slow pan is where you could usually really notice it. And this has solved it for the most part. I might every once in a while, you can see if the frame rate's staying pretty consistent coming in. Sometimes in certain scenes it gets off a little bit. I might get a slight stutter, but I mean, this has been pretty damn solid. After a few days of what the hell is going on here. Again, you want to make sure that your game is running. I have it frame limited. I'm running performance mode. I just want to make sure that the game is capable of consistently running at that frame cap. If I'm pretty close to that and it's dropping into 118s, 110s or lower, I'm going to get stutters. But and I'm filming with an iPhone camera at 60. This is coming through at 120, but it's been solid. Hopefully this can help somebody. It's the only thing that has really worked for me. Again, if anybody can figure out, I'd just like to show if I do 60, I want a custom refresh rate for some reason. Again, I can't get it to work at 60. 60.27 is what it will refresh at, and I could show that from, again, we're in Diablo mode. If I set it to 60, I see I'm going to stop around 60.27. So for some reason 120 works fine, it's smooth, it's consistent, but setting 60.27 here, choosing that as my custom refresh rate. I usually quit the session, so the virtual monitor definitely. And I'm just gonna double check here. Hate this. So I'm gonna, again, cap RTSS at the new 60.27. So we're capped there. I can see that the monitor refresh rate is the 60.27 doubled to 120.54. And just so you can see, sorry, I hide my taskbar here. RTSS is capped at the 60.27 as well. My start service. With the overlay, we can see that the monitor, the tablet display is refreshing at the 60.27, but the Apollo stream, you know, the 120.54 custom refresh, it would come through at that. This seems to want to stay pinned to 60. I usually check here, just the menu's low demand, it would usually render the stream at the 60.27, but I just can't get it to. 120 works fine, 144 works fine, but so then in this case, my stream is coming through at 60, and if I see if I can stay slow enough, I will just get the stutter, judder. It might not come through here, but it's annoying enough to where, you know, buying the Astra for specifically as a streaming device, it sucks to have to deal with stuttering. It might be coming through a bit if you can see it. Again, recording at 60. I guess recording at 60 and the screen refreshing at 60, it might line up, but just little tiny pauses and little bits of judder, and it's just pain in the ass. But I've gone on too long already. Hopefully this helps somebody. I would get make sure your Astra is refreshing at the same rates that mine are. I don't know what mine are. I don't know if my panel is, you know, just running slightly faster than everybody else's, and maybe nobody else has this issue. But I've seen a few posts and I've gone back and forth with a few people about not being able to get a consistent stream, and I think this would be why. But again, 120 works great. It fixed my problem, and hopefully this helps. See ya.